tell a joke and you don't get it because it's inside my own head. Is that okay with everybody? One person got that. Excellent. So turn to the person next to you and just smile at them. Go ahead, smile at them. They don't smile back, get up and move. Before I even get started, I want to give a major applause and really respect to Randy and Gordon putting this on. I mean, this is just amazing. Can we just give them the biggest round of applause? So I am here to create something magical. So we're going to start with something that more than anything else, just so for those that are taking copious notes, because I know some people record it. If you don't know me or if you've never heard of what I do or how I do it, I have two specialties. The first one is called human equity. So you can write that down. Human equity. And the second one, hey Doc, what's going on? A man and a woman's event. Go on, girl. The second one is called relationship currencies. Relationship currencies. The most powerful thing that you can do is actually build equity within yourself in order to be and here, how many people want the world to come to you? How many people like the way that sounds? How many people are tired of chasing the world? Chasing money, chasing prospects, chasing clients, chasing business. How many people understand that conversation? So the trick to that is understanding how to reverse the entire energy of a vortex. Is everybody understanding that so far? Now, I want you to understand that. You have people like your prime minister, who I got a chance to see yesterday. You have people like Ted Turner. You have people like Bill Gates. You have Warren Buffett. You have Mark, who created Facebook. You have Sir Branson, who is one of my personal mentors. And all these individuals have learned how to reverse the energy. So that's one of the things that I've spent most of my life doing, is learning how to reverse the energy. And what I mean by that is that most people are constantly, you got so many people that are doing marketing. I'm marketing for social media. I'm marketing for, trying to be able to generate more clients. You got lead programs. But what happens when you end up with a line of a whole bunch of clients and you don't have enough time to be able to service all of them? How many people want that problem? It's a great problem, yes? And that's the mastery of understanding human equity. See, the person is going to actually build the largest and most powerful network in whatever business that you have is the one who, I'm going to tell you the magical word. I'm going to ask, what is the number one or magical word in business that will allow you to end up with that line? Raise your hand if you know the answer. Authenticity, yes. There are no wrong answers, by the way. Delegation, beautiful word. Anybody else? Confidence, yes, you must be confident. Duplication, definitely. Creativity, perseverance, discipline, communication, my favorite word. What, say it? Competence, yes. One more, yes. Two more. Persistence, passion. That's my favorite. That's my topic for the day. But there's one word that was missed that encompasses all of that. How is it that you end up with a line? How is it that you end up with more business than you can deal with in a day, in a year? One word. Didn't even come up. That's quite interesting. In a business, communication came up. Dedication. Social media. Now that's funny. Desire. Belief. Passion. Passion was said. Integrity was said. Helping others, definitely. Scheduling. Vision, love that. One of my favorite words. Charity. Okay, what did you say there? Love? To laugh. Love. Okay, I'm just making sure. Love. Purpose, definitely. Still hasn't come up. I'm going to take like 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's go. Goals, mindset, system, positivity, who you're being, focus. Okay, that's it. All those, and not one time that the one word that I'm looking for came up. Value. When there's enough value, you move everything in your world. You'll move it for a date. You'll move it for a husband. You'll move it for your children. You'll move it for going to get a check. Somebody holding a check and they're going to get it. There's no long. See, you go to a meeting, like you'll come here and you'll say, okay, well, how long is the meeting? How long is the training? How much time do I need to allocate? But if somebody was holding a $100,000 check for you here today, you'd stay here all day. You'd be like, whatever, I'm waiting for my check. Yes or yes? So whatever you're offering in your life, if you're trying to figure out why people are not standing in line, it's because you're having a $5 conversation for a $100,000 offer. Ooh, did anybody get that? Let me say that again. You're having a $5 conversation for a $100,000 offer in your head. You believe you have one of the greatest opportunities on the planet, whatever it is, whether you do real estate, whether you're networking, whether you're doing stocks, whatever it is that you do, you do cosmetics. Whatever you do, you believe, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. You believe you have a great opportunity. Whether you're a doctor, whether you're an attorney, whatever you do, yes or yes? Whatever your vocation is, you believe you have a great opportunity. Then why aren't people standing in line for your opportunity? Because there's not enough value. See, when you have enough value, and you've created enough value, there's more people standing in line. If you're the best at marketing, you have a line. If you're the best at an attorney, you're going through divorce and you're looking for that one person, you're going through a child custody case, and that's the number one person here in GTA or anywhere. How many people understand this conversation? How much value do you place on your conversation? How great is your conversation? What is the verbiage of your conversation? Are you talking to people with a $5 mentality, but $1 million dream? Is this hitting anybody yet? I'm starting early, okay, because I'm going to gut check you in a second. Is anybody getting this? Yes or yes? So you got to understand there's this thing, it's a system. One did say systems. There were no wrong answers in the answers. All of those live. So you got to understand, we're going to go somewhere today. I have something amazing for you. But we're going to go into understanding systems. So you want to make sure you understand systems, those taking copious notes. I talk fast, but if you listen faster, you'll get paid even faster. Everybody with me, yes? All right? System, the word itself stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. Save yourself time, energy, and money. What you're breathing right now is an ecosystem. The way your body is working is a biological system. The way the brain works is a whole other neurological system. Everything you have, you got to understand. You put your kids into what we call a school system. When you're looking at everything in this planet, it's done by a system. The problem with the 98% that fail within the universe, uni being one, verse being song, is that you work for the system and you haven't learned how to make the systems work for you. Where your money goes, it goes into a tax system. Now you got to understand, of all the systems that you're actually applicable to, how many are working for you? How many are making your money work for you, making your body work for you, making your mind work for you, that your children are on tilt, that they're following, not just listening? Most of the kids don't listen, they actually hear. We're always off by one dial. So that vortex of energy is learning how to make energy flow. You have to become the current that changes the flow of energy. That comes by way of human equity. And how valuable are you to society? This all falls underneath the realm of, please write it down, leaders. It's really servant leadership. It's not just leadership, it's servant leadership. It's being the one who doesn't mind washing the feet. It's the one understanding that one word. You can write it down. It's one of the greatest words of all time. It's called humility. You can write down the word ego, which stands for edging God out. That when your ego is up here, your resources are down here. When your humility is up here, your resources go through the roof. That you're completely transparent, that you do have communication, that you're living in integrity, you have intention, you're going on purpose, and in turn, you're doing it with the intention of value, of serving the person that's coming to you, not sitting up there with a closed mind, because a closed mind is like a parachute. You jump out of a plane, you go splat without a parachute because it's not open. Anybody get this? Yes or yes? Yes. So you got to ask yourself, how long is your line? Are you still looking for more business? It's amazing how people have a relationship. I'm going to go into the 4 quadrants. You can understand the 4 quadrants. It's what I do when it comes to coaching. Why is it that in my off season I get paid a minimum of $5,000 an hour? Because there's enough value for it. See, if I coach somebody, wherever you want to be in 5 years, you will get there in 2 years. Because I will reach through your mouth, through your esophagus, reach down, grab your heart, make it stop beating for about 2 seconds so you know that you're alive. You'll gasp, and then you'll come back to life. Because most people are dead waiting to be buried. If I get that so far. That's what it is. Most people live. See, I want you guys to get this. This is going somewhere. Are y'all with me? Say yes, yes. I can't hear you. Say yes. I know it's early in the morning. I'm going to wake you up. I'm going to be straight coffee. I'm 3 hours behind you. So whatever time it is, I'm already earlier than you. And I haven't even had my coffee yet. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm operating at a 2. What? Yes. Anybody with me on that so far? Now let's identify some things as to why we aren't where we are in life. Because some of you are stubborn as hell. That's why you're sitting here. Somebody said smile. You're like, smile at the person next to you. Because, I mean, really, it can come down to understanding, the mother and the daughter. Since we're in a women's empowerment. Come down to the mother and the daughter. And the daughter goes to the child. And the child comes to the mother. And says, I just don't understand, Mommy, this thing of life. Some of you have heard this story. Mommy says, go get 3 pots. Bring it into the house. They go get 3 pots. Said, now go to the refrigerator. Go get the carrots, go get the eggs, and go get the coffee beans. Take the first carrot, break it. What is it? Crisp, life, full of vigor, juice. Now throw it in the hot water because you've boiled it. What happens? It gets soft. That's 80% of the population. Adversity hits you, and you get weak and washy and this, that, and the other. Make a decision. Do you want to do this? Are you interested in doing it? Would you like to go on a date? Yes. Treat your man like a king, not till I'm treated like a queen. Damn carrots. Then Mom says, go get the eggs. Crack one open. Tell me about the texture of the egg. Well, it's nice and it's shelled on the outside. It protects everything, and on the inside it's filled with love. It's nice and yolked. Now take that egg, baby, and throw it into the second pot that's boiling. What happened after 3 minutes? Came a hard-boiled egg. She said, baby, that's 15% of the population. That takes you from 80 to 95%. She said, what do you mean, Mom? That's what happens to some of us. That when adversity and challenge hit, we become bitter and hard. And no matter what, it's like, I'm just this. It's just the way I am. It's the way life is. Then we want to know why your children are so difficult. It's because, write this down, things are caught, not taught. Everybody get that so far? They're watching you. They aren't listening to anything that you say. You want to know why your children are going AWOL is because you went AWOL a long time ago. You're saying, I don't want to pass that on to my child, but they aren't really hearing anything that you have to say. They're watching how you operate, your energy. And how many of us have looked at a parent, and especially for women, but it happens for men as well. And we've seen our parents, and as we're growing up as children, and we become adolescents and young adults, and we listen to how many people had a parent that gave you a sermon? Many sermons. Anybody? Not just me, yes? No matter what, it's like, here comes the sermon. I know I'm about to get a match. So in that, here's what happens. We walk by and we say, I'll never be like that when I grow up. You won't say that out loud. How many people know that conversation? Yeah. How many people, as you got older, walk by the mirror and you're like, oh my God, that's my mother! Things are caught, not taught. And then Mom looked at the daughter and said, okay, let's take that coffee bean. Let's throw those coffee beans in the hot water. Watch what happens. said, what, do you see it changing? He said, no, it's getting stronger. The odor is getting stronger. The aroma is getting stronger. It's filling it up, and it makes me feel good. See, there's that 5% that learn how to succeed in life, that no matter what adversity comes across it, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I had the blessing of going to see Jack Ma yesterday. If you guys don't know who he is, he created Alibaba. Man's amazing. I'm so inspired by this man. I mean, he was turned down. He didn't just apply to college. He applied to Harvard. He didn't get into any college. And at the end of getting turned down about 4 or 5 times, he said, you know what? I think I'm going to teach here. He didn't even get in. And his mental state was, the more you turn me down, the more I'm going to come and teach here because y'all need something to learn. That's crazy. Who thinks like that? He then went, he was the only, they specifically told him, 25 people applied at Kentucky Fried Chicken just to work at the cashier to serve chicken. 25 people applied to become a server at Kentucky Fried Chicken. They actually told him, out of 25 people, you're the only person they never hired. Everything he ever did, he was rejected from. And every time he was rejected, he became that coffee bean. More and more and more resilient. Some of you guys get 5 rejections, like, yeah, maybe it's just not for me. I talk to everybody I know, all my mom and my father and my sister, and they don't. You talk to everybody you know? Everybody? How many people are in Toronto? What's the population? 6 million. You talk to everybody? See, many of you, and you can write this down, one of the dangers, I think one of the biggest bear traps, I'm going to talk about bear traps throughout the day. One of the biggest bear traps, I think it sucks at least 25 to 30% of success out of an individual. Bear trap is looking for validation. Please write that down. You don't need validation from anybody. If you need permission, I give you permission to be great. How's that? Is that okay? Is that okay? You now have a complete, promissory slip that tells you you were born to be great. You were born to be great. Do you understand that you already won from the time of inception, that you beat out over 5-10 million sperm to be here? Isn't that pretty amazing? That's pretty amazing. That you won from the time that you were born, and then you deprogrammed yourself to program yourself for failure after you already won. Everything that you come to know is something that you told yourself, or you listen to somebody else. You listen to somebody tell you weren't good enough. You listen to somebody who told you this won't work. You listen to somebody who told you that you weren't pretty. You listen to somebody who told you were too fat. You listen to somebody who told you were too skinny. Let me tell you something. You're perfect just the way you are. You really are. Stop looking at the magazines. Stop looking at all these little skinny women that look like they got anorexia walking through on a bathing suit that is about to fall off if they lose 1 more pound. Stop doing all that. Just live healthy. Did that make sense? Are y'all with me on that so far? Okay? Just be healthy. You have everything that you need to become completely, just complete. So let's deal with the 4 quadrants. The first of this, I want you to imagine a square. You can write it down or you can draw a square, and I want you to put in one for those that are smart enough to write this down. And if you have a visual memory, then that's fine too. I like a recorder because the average individual only retains 10% of what they hear. And as fast as I talk, you'll only keep 5. So you got to understand something about success. It's duplicated over and over again. There's no magic wand. Did anybody catch what I just said? Here, let me read between the lines. It's repetition. I talked to a billionaire when I was coming up through the ranks. This guy said, you know why most people don't become wealthy? Why most people don't become successful? He said, because it's boring. Now, me being from the south side of Chicago, coming from a ghetto, in my head, I was like, how could success and wealth, being rich, be boring? And you can write this down. He said, because it's called mastering the mundane. It's doing the same thing over and 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 over. What we do is we do it like 3 times, and if it doesn't work, we want to change it up. It's like, well, this didn't work, or this opportunity didn't work, or this relationship didn't work. Well, let me try this, or let me do this. It's doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Is everybody getting that? Yes or yes? We're going to stick with the thing called human equity. The reason why most people do not succeed is because they don't know how to stick with one thing or one person. I'll say that again. There's a reason why I'm over 100 multimillionaires having studied under what I do. Because I talked to probably 1 million to get to the 100. And I wasn't looking for the 100. I was only looking for one person. That was me. You can remember this. If you actually sponsor yourself and become your own sponsor, you'll become amazing. But then you have to find a teacher that will take you where you want to go. Too many people have a concept of what it is. So what are you doing? Are you doing real estate? I don't know. I'm not really good in sales. So what are you doing? Network marketing? I'm not really good at that. So what are you doing? Stocks? I'm not good with figures. Everybody's not good at something. They want to say this, this, and this. Here's what I learned. When you become good at just one thing, just the one thing, if you become not just good, but you become great, if you not just become great, but you become extraordinary, then in turn, guess what? I can do anything I want to do and make over 7 figures. Anything that you currently do, you can make over 7 figures without any mental limitations or boundaries, because you want to remember this and always remember this. Remember this for the rest of your life. Whatever you do is not what you do. People are not buying your service and your product, they're buying you. And the reason why your business does not fly is because you have not invested enough in the person in the mirror. The reason why I was able to sit with Richard Branson and see him with 57 streams of income, sit with Oprah who has 48 streams of income. They have a real estate department. They have a marketing department. They literally have an investment firm. They have a hedge fund. They have a network marketing piece. They got all kinds of pieces. But as soon as you say something, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, you aren't doing anything, because most people, write this down, are busy being broke. I'd like to come and meet you, but I'm just real busy. I had somebody that was I think 2 months ago, they said, I'd like to come and see you, but you're about 30, 40 minutes away from me. That's 30 minutes in LA is just sitting in traffic. And somebody else last night said, I'd like to come see you, but where are you going to be? Oh, that's kind of far. I said, I just came from Los Angeles. That's far. See, when you think big, the world becomes small. When you think small, the world becomes big. Remember that. I'll say it again. When you think big, real big, the world becomes really small. And when you think small, the world becomes really big. I was listening to Mr. Mao yesterday. He said, we have 120 Chinese, 120 million Chinese that move and travel around the world at one time consistently 365 days out of the year. He said, that's called a moving continent. He said the average consumer, when they travel, spend anywhere between $100 and $1,000. The average Chinese spends $1,000 to $10,000 just on gifts when they travel. That's huge. I'm listening to these stats. I'm looking. I'm like, he said we have 440 million millionaires in China. 440 million millionaires.
I like that number.
He said, you go to the United States or Canada, and he said you can pull literally 100 people out of a crowd, and you might find 5 to 10 that can speak Mandarin. You pull 100 people out of China, and 80 of them will speak at least 3 languages. Now, I'm not saying this as a contrast. I'm not trying to get you to understand China, Canada, and the United States. He said the thing about business, since we're having a women's leadership, the thing about business of where I'm talking about as far as thinking big and living small is understanding that if you don't have a globalization mentality, you will move into a residence called poverty. Anybody get that conversation? The whole thing about business and understanding life is called leverage. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about leverage. We're talking about making time and money work for you. We're talking about making systems work for you. So those 4 quadrants. Imagine the square. For those that don't have pen and paper, there's a square. And one angle of that square is called the mind. The mind. Mental. The mind is like, it truly is, it really is a garden. And if you do not take care of that garden, if you do not fertilize that garden, if you do not water that garden, if you do not till that garden, if you do not have sweat equity in that garden, if you don't go and make sure it has enough sunlight, if you don't make sure that it has enough water, if you do not take care of that garden of a mind, then I can guarantee you that weeds will grow. I tell people all the time as I'm teaching, the devil, and I do believe in the devil. You need to read Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It's one of the most amazing books you could ever read, especially when you're dealing with challenges. And the devil has 3 best friends, for those that really want to write it down. It's called doubt, fear, and worry. The devil's 3 best friends are vampires. Now, does anybody understand vampires in here? A little bit about vampires? Because there's a whole lot of different, it's just like you have Caribbean black people, you have Nigerians, you have, Afro-Americans, you got blacks from, so just like there's different from China, there's different type of Jews. You have Jews, Russian Jews, Hasidic Jews. There's different layers of the vampires. Does everybody follow me in that? Yes or yes? I think the most deadly of the spiritual vampires is the spiritual vampire. Of the vampires is spiritual vampires. You can write that down. Be very careful of spiritual vampires. They're coming to suck the life out of you. You can write this down. It's never the person with a knife or gun. It's always a family member or friend who says it can't be done. It's never the person with a knife or gun. It's always a family member or friend who says it can't be done. They're the dangerous of the spiritual vampires. They're looking for you. But here's what you got to understand about the spiritual vampires. It's just like germs. See, if you're in shape, if you're taking, when we get back to the 4 quadrants, if you're taking care of your body and you're healthy and you're taking your vitamins and you're actually nourishing your body, you're hydrating, you're taking the water. That's amazing. If you really understand the biological clock that you have, you can actually extend it based on how you take care of it. But if you don't take care of the temple, it's not going to take care of you. Anybody getting that? Yes or yes? So I'll give you a prime example. Raise your hand. See, and I want you guys to understand, follow instructions. Because some of you guys, I ask questions, just blurt it out. Stick with me here. Raise your hand if you can tell me, and Doc, you aren't included. So if you're a doctor, you're excluded. Yes, so what is, how much water is in your body? See, I just told you, follow instructions. That's why they pay me, because I will come and choke you. Are y'all following this so far? That's why it's real simple. Success is real simple. All you got to do is just follow instructions. It's okay, baby, because after you did it, 3 more people right behind you. It's just following instructions. Do you guys know success is an open book test? All you got to do is follow instructions. But the older you get, the less you want to follow instructions because you know so much. And the person that knows everything becomes stupid. And then you master. You got a PhD in opinions. Piled high and deep. Are y'all following me on that so far? Right? How much water is in your body? Yes? 90%. 80%. 75%. 70%. 70%. 86%. 90 or 99%. 99%, we just walking immediately. The hell is wrong here? 90 or 99%. Hell. 80, 98? She just said 99 and you said 98? Am I not hearing properly? What did you say? 98. No, yeah, it's 98, not 99. Woo! All right. We got a winter class here. All right, so let's ask another question, since none of those were the proper answer. How much water is actually on the planet? Raise of hand if you know. Yes. How much? You just blurted out again. Follow instructions. I don't know who it was. 75. 71. 75. 80%. You're all around it. Of course, it's a variable because we got global warming that doesn't really exist when it's 100 degrees in October. But that's a scam. Global warming doesn't really exist. Whatever. Thank you. Finally, I have the right answer. 78% of the planet is water. It's not a coincidence that 78% of your body is water. Complete mirrored percentages. It's pretty amazing, yes or yes? 78% of the planet is water, 78% of your body is water. So when you understand that, you'll understand why people don't drink enough water. And when you start to understand the pH level, and you start to understand why you're off balance, or why your emotions are on tilt, or why you have headaches, or why your body is tilted in one direction or another, and it's off in certain different dimensions from an internal perspective. Because over a period of time, your habits have accumulated, where just a little bit off here of taking care of it builds up over a period of time and throws. I don't even have time for this. Is anybody getting this? Yes or yes? Okay, now. So one quadrant is the mind. You have to take care of the mind. The second quadrant is the body, that you have to take care of the temple. The third quadrant is your spirit. So this is all in a square. You can put M on one, which is mind, body on another quadrant, and you can put spirit on another one, which is S. And I don't care if you chant, if you pray, if you meditate or do yoga, but you better learn how to do something. Is everybody getting that? Yes? You got to learn how to be still. You have to learn how to reflect. You have to write this down. Inspect what you expect. We have a whole lot of expectations, but you never really inspected what you needed to do. Therefore, you're always off of whatever your target was. But some of you never had a target. Then we get into goals, and that's a whole other conversation of being definitive and measurable goals. So you have the mind, you have the body, you have the spirit. The fourth quadrant is money. It's funny, you can see people's body language change when you talk about money. I don't want to talk about money. I've noticed the only people who don't like talking about money, usually the people who don't have any. Or the 1% that has more than legacy money behind their name. People that live in that quadrant of legacy money, they don't like talking about money either. But that's less than 1% of the population on the planet through all of time. Those are different families that I've been blessed to be able to meet, such as the Wrigley family. They created the Wrigley's gum. Or the Heinz family. They created ketchup. You haven't seen a commercial for ketchup in a long time. Or the Rockefellers, or if you look at the Buffett family, this kind of money, Rothschilds, we're getting into that. In that spectrum, it's like, why do I need to talk about money? Does everybody follow me? Yes? But the other spectrum are people who just don't have money. It's like, I don't want to talk about money. See, you got to shift your mindset. You got to go from an employee mentality to an employer mentality. Please write that down. You have to go from an employee mentality to an employer mentality. Note that the employee mentality will ask, how much does it cost? So the coaching, how much does it cost? So these products over here, so how much is the cost? So you got facial stuff, how much is the cost? Okay, the candles, how much is the cost? All these different things. Strategic planning. Oh, I need strategic planning. How much is it? Oh, $250. The employer mentality, write it down. They will ask, what is it worth? If I look at a piece of property, they tell me it's going to be $300,000. I throw $30,000 into it. I can sell it for $450,000. I have no problem paying $300,000 to be able to make $120,000 net profit in less than 3 months of just a fix-up of $20,000 being put into it. But if you don't understand numbers and if you've never done investments, I just talk right over your head. And that was really second-grade conversation for people in real estate. Because this is a market in which you have to be able to invest, buy, and hold, and understanding that why is this the best time to get in real estate? Who wants to tell me why this is the best time to get? Raise your hand if you know why this is the best time to get in real estate. Because the market is down. Okay? That's the basic answer. There's no wrong answer again.
Buy land because they don't make it anymore.
Buy land. My father used to say that. I love that conversation. Buy land because they don't make it anymore. I don't think they ever made it, but I understand this. And yes, sir. Because it's always the right time to buy real estate. All right answers. We're here in the leadership. We want to go to the next level. We want to be able. Anybody want to raise the ante? I can't hear you. Yes? Yes. Would you like greater equity within your mind? Yes. That will apply to anything that you're doing? Yes. Where is the market or the greatest demographic to invest for and where? If you know where and for, raise your hand if you have not been my student for the last 3 months. Where is the best demographic? Okay, and yourself, yes. That's always going to be an automatic answer. But in this time frame today, we got holding, we got downtime, we got all that. Anybody know? Yes, where is the best, why and where? Or it's better stated, who? What is the demographic? Is it Chinese? Is it Russians? Is it Indians? Is it on the west side? Is it on the east side? Is it in old people? Is it in young people? Is it in the middle? Is it middle class? What are we dealing with health? Is it because of poverty? Are we dealing with an economic sideline? Are we looking at where all the economy is going? Or are we looking at Trump actually being in office? There's a myriad of places and reasons why you invest in real estate. But it's not just in real estate. I'm just using that as an example. So I'm saying, where is it that we should be investing in right now? There's a myriad of places. I said raise your hand. See, following instructions. Yes. And ourselves, always, that's a constant. So let's say the second place, because that's going to be the best place for the rest of your life. Health, okay. Next, I got you. And our children? Financial investment. By the year 2025, I've been saying this consistently in my speaks for the last 90 days, especially doing an understudy for the last year and a half. By the year 2025, 65% of the population will be under 25 years old. Scary, isn't it? Think about that. It's less than 8 years from today. By 2025, over 60% of the population will be under 25. 60% plus. Let me bring it home even deeper so you're very clear. From 1 BC, or 1 AD, to 1965, the population was 5.8 billion people on this planet. From the first year, AD, 1,970 years, it took to put 5.8 billion people on the planet. Today, there is right at 8 billion people. So that means it took almost 2,000 years to get up to 5.8 billion, and in less than 75 years, 2 billion people showed up. Let's talk global. Is anybody getting this? Yes or yes? So why is real estate so incredible right now? Because people that have vision and aren't so busy being broke understand that the millennials today, in less than 10 years, will all be buying, selling, or renting. But if you're only living for right now, in the next 2 or 3 years, you'll miss one of the biggest real estate booms you've ever seen in your life by the year 2020. That's huge. That's massive. By 2020 to 2025, you will see the greatest rush of real estate all over the planet. And the population is not going to shrink. It's just going to get bigger. Is anybody understanding this conversation? But that's looking just 5 years into the future. But it's not just applicable to real estate. It's applicable to any service or product that you have. But you have to plan for that demographic. Whether you're a coach, whether you're mentally, whether you're strategizing. Is everybody getting that? Yes or yes? Yes. Excellent. So the fourth quadrant in the square is money. You can only walk on the beach so many times before the woman's going to get hungry. So people who say money is not everything, you're right, it's not. But it's up there with oxygen. You breathe a lot easier when you have it. I've been very broke and I've been very rich, and I promise you rich is a whole lot better. Is everybody following that? But there's no shortage of money. They keep making it. It's just not in our pockets yet. So I was listening to a young lady. She was saying, I don't know who it was on stage when I walked in. She said, I want to make $100 million. More than doable. More than possible. How much do you want to make? I mean, it's just a goal. But here's what I understand about money. It depends on where you are and what your relationship is with money in this fourth quadrant. You can actually intentionally reach millions of dollars. You can become a millionaire or a multimillionaire on intention. You can set that as a goal. You really can, and get to multimillionaire status. But here's a secret. You cannot get to billionaire status based on a goal. If you do not have a servant leadership mentality to create something that transforms the entire human race and is being done for a greater purpose beyond dollars and cents in itself, there's no way that you can expand to be able to reach enough people to reach billionaire status. That's why Elon Musk, that's why Warren Buffett, that is why Mark Zuckerberg. When you look at people that have gotten to that level, there's a great disparity between time and space of the people that hit these levels. These are people that never did it for money. They did it because they wanted to do something so radical that it disrupted the status quo of the human race, to make a difference that was going to serve everybody, because it was a solution for themselves and everyone else that came behind them. I know, you got to record that. Did that make sense? Is everybody understanding that? If you want it broken down, it's just you have to have something that transforms the human race in order to reach that type of level of success. But you can't do that if you're on mental lockdown. You can't do that if you're mentally incarcerated. You can't do that if you're spiritually in bondage. You can't do that if you're on complete incarcerated. I mean, if you're on lockdown mentally, spiritually, or financially, or physically, you can't think clearly. You know why it's easy for people to come to this event late or leave early or be able to get a piece of it or think they know already? Because they didn't have to pay. The only reason I'm here is because of Gordon and Randy. I don't do public speaking and do these kind of conversations. Why? Because when people come and listen to me, when you write this down, when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. People get up, they're like, oh, well, I'll come late. You pay $5,000 for an hour, your butt is there an hour early. That's why I only deal with an elite class of people that I'm going to coach. Because at that point in time, people come. I mean, I make different avenues. I have a real estate division, a networking division. I make avenues for everything. People come in and they have an IQ level, an I quit level. Oh, I do it for a couple of months. I'll do it for a week. They throw away $500. They throw away $5,000 because they have no idea of the value because they didn't have to pay for it. I paid over $2 million for my knowledge. $2 million for my knowledge. Just for the education. This is how a black man from the south side of Chicago that was supposed to be dead by 12 made it into the doors of Warren Buffett by 26 and sat down for 10 days with a guy named Richard Branson. Why I'm still walking through different doors with some of the most extraordinary minds. And then people meet you, and because of the law of familiarity, you don't understand the value of who's there in front of you because you're close to them. How many people understand that through being a parent? And our job is to serve. But here's what I understand. Here's what I overstand. You can't help someone get in shape that doesn't want to work out. You can't help someone get wealthy who's committed to their own way of doing things. So you have to do something different to get different results. You have to disrupt the way that you think. You have to shake it up. I love doing things I've never done before. Other people are like, I don't know. I love doing anything I've never done before because I know once I master it, I've expanded my arsenal. Jim Rohn, who I studied under directly for 3 years in a row, right before he passed, 2005 to 2009. One of the things he said is you got to add an extra skill set to your life every single year, Byron. Your skill set has to be, you have to keep adding. He said, if you look up the next year and you're the same, you haven't added something to your arsenal financially, mentally, and spiritually that makes you more valuable to the human race, then you're just dying quickly. He said, that's called a spiritual cancer. He said, make sure you get rid of those people as quickly as possible. He said, if people come into your life and they leave quickly, be glad. Be glad. Because he said, it's just like money. He said, if you loan somebody $5,000 and they don't pay you back, just be glad it didn't cost you $50,000. That's one of the most inexpensive investments you'll ever make. He said, if you spend 5 minutes with somebody and they don't get it, just be glad you didn't spend 30 years with them and they wasted your time and didn't do anything with their life. Be very glad. Write this down. Let my people go. Write it down. Let them go. Let them go. Some people are supposed to be leaves. They're supposed to fall off the tree. They're supposed to leave you alone. Because it's their attitude. They don't know how to smart. I mean, how many people know? Write that down. ABA, so that you understand it. A stands for attitude. B stands for belief. And the other A stands for action. That's the system you need to know in this session right here. I'll write it down again. ABA, real simple. A, B, A, real simple. I'll say it to you in Spanish. You want me to say it in French? Whatever we want. Talking Portuguese, whatever you want. Love Italian, go. A, it's your attitude that will always dictate your altitude, that will give you your longitude to be able to see how far you can go, to have vision. Vision stands for vision inspires success in others now. Vision stands for vision inspires success in others now. When you're walking, make sure that you don't turn around. Here's one of your biggest problems. You meet certain people, they come into your life, you invest time and energy into them, and then you give them a second and third chance. Here's a secret. The root of a tree will never change. These are hard lessons. Are you guys getting this? It's not good or bad. I need you guys to get what I'm saying. Because especially from a female perspective, a maternal perspective, you have such a caring instinct, an innate ability to care for people that you constantly are giving people a second and third chance. And in that, you constantly are let down. You're constantly helping so many people. It's a female trait. It's what God put in you. You were built to incubate. You were built to carry. You were built to hold on your shoulders. You were built for the pain. You were built to be able to give birth. You were built to do things nobody else was able to do. But he also gave you something that was called common sense. And my grandmother used to say, yes, common sense. My grandmother would say, common sense and deodorant, they're cousins. The ones who need it most don't use it. The common sense is, let my people go. If they came in, they came to either be a blessing or a lesson. Don't go back to people. If they want you, let them chase you. Run so fast that when you wake up, there's the gazelle and the lion. The gazelle is running because it doesn't want to be eaten. The lion is running because it's hungry. But guess what? When the sun comes up in Africa, they're both running. Get up and run. Faster than you've ever ran before. You know how you actually get stuck in places in your life? Because you pause. And that's when either you're eating or you get hungry. Anybody get that conversation? You pause. And definitely here in Canada, you guys have this thing that you do. What's it called? Processing. You guys call it processing. Stop processing. Stop it. You wake up, you process before you start. You take action, and then you process when you finish. You don't process in the middle of it. Is anybody getting this conversation? Bless you, child. Make sure that you understand the attitude. Vision. Vision inspires success in others now. How big is your vision? Just show of hands. I'm just curious. How many people in here have a vision board? Show of hands. Beautiful. I'm in the right room. Great. I can actually elevate my conversation. Today's going to be wonderful. Now, I want you guys to see the power of this training. First of all, this is a coaching. Okay. First of all, I'm going to show you the power of coaching. What if you know, raise your hand, you can't be a coach. If you know why you hire a coach, you can't be my student for the last 6 months. If you know why you hire a coach, raise your hand. No, I said you can't be a coach. Okay, great. Why do you hire a coach? One word. Blind spots. Nope. Thank you. Say it again. Stand up and say it loud. Accountability. Accountability. That's it. You all know how to get smart. You read a book. But nobody holds you accountable. You all know how to raise the bar of what you're doing, but you don't do it because there's nobody holding you accountable. You don't, and it's amazing. People sit up there and say, how much is the cost? Guess what? I've invested more in coaching for me to become a coach so that I can know that I know that I know that I need a coach. Even a coach needs a coach. There's nobody that's great that doesn't have a coach. Serena got 18 coaches. Tiger Woods, when he was at the top of his game, he had 12 coaches. I mean, Tyson, before he started buying ears, he had 15 coaches. Everybody that's been extraordinary has coaches. The higher up you go, the more you have mentorship and coaching. If you want to stay down here, don't get a coach. You don't need to be here today. If you want to raise your game, you need to find a coach. I don't care who you pick. I'm probably too expensive for most people, so I believe in this. Write this down. It's easier to run with 3 than to drag 1,000. I'm only looking for a few people anyway. I don't need everybody to get my course. How many people notice as you get older, the older you get, the less you like people? I actually like my peace of mind. So you don't have to worry about me selling you a package because I really don't like a lot of people anyway. I only want a few people on my squad. A lot of people, when they come and sit down with me for any opportunity I give them, they sit down and it's like, okay, so what is it? I'm not sure this, that, and that. They don't understand. I'm actually interviewing them, and they think they're coming that I'm trying. I really don't need anybody. I retired under 30. 3 of my streams of income do over $20 million a month gross. On a bad day. On a bad day. But here's what you need to know about multimillionaires. Every one of them will go bankrupt at least 2.5 times. Every multimillionaire will go bankrupt at least 2.5 times. You know why that's really so extraordinary? Because once they lose it, they know how to get it again. 80% of the people that ever won the lottery will owe 5 times more than they ever won. I know, isn't that crazy? I'll say that again. 80% of the people that have ever won the lottery, this is a fact across the board, end up owing 5 times the amount of money they ever won. Because they never earned it. And you know what's worse than not having money? Not having time. I talk to some people like, I like to, but I just don't have no time. I'm like, oh, so you've rehearsed this conversation with your husband, your kids, and yourself. How could I be offended? The people in your life don't even see you. Okay, so I'm talking to a few of you. All right, now. Back to being busy. Is everybody following me? Yes or yes? So you got to understand how to elevate your consciousness. Why you acquire a customer. Why you acquire, I'm on a whole nother page. Why you actually acquire a coach is accountability. Now watch this. Everyone that has a vision board, stand up. I want you to look around first and foremost. So the first thing that you need to understand in this exercise is if you don't have a vision board, you're already losing. I'm sure if I go through this crowd alone, there's a myriad of stories of people that have completed things in their life with a vision board. I mean, it's magical. It's magical. Now, if you have the second board, continue to stand. And if you do not have the second board, sit down. If you have, stand up. I didn't even tell you what the board was. Boy, y'all and these instructions are amazing. The listening. We're going to have a whole exercise tonight on listening. If you have a completion board next to your vision board, keep standing. Now look at what's standing. And I can tell you, I know 50% of the people standing personally that are already past 7 figures, that have already made 7 figures, that's already cleared 7 figures. All these people that I know have already, beyond money, served millions of people, and they already have a following of hundreds of thousands. She has a following around the world. She has a following around the world. She's blind and sees better than everybody else. Doc has a following all over the world. Thank you. Give them the biggest round of applause, please. That's why you hire a coach. Because what good is vision if you're still blind after you get it? What good is a goal and a dream if it turns in and here's what happens. People have a dream that ultimately turns into a wish. And that wish, it ultimately turns into a hope. And the hope, it ultimately turns into a nightmare. Because then you start resenting life. I'm going to say that again. The dream turns into a wish that turns into hope, that turns into a nightmare. See, what happens is it's like sugar. It gives you a high for a second, and you go down really fast. And then reality kicks in. And then you hear people having the worst conversation on the planet. That self-talk of, I just need to be realistic. Let me tell you, extraordinary minds are not realistic. Amazing people are not realistic. People that create magic in the world. I do believe in the Green Lantern and magic happening. I believe in miracles all over the place. I woke up this morning looking for miracles in this room, praying for miracles, knowing that, and write this down, live in a state of expectation. Expect miracles to show up for you. Expect them. Expect them. Stop looking for how people see you and start seeing yourself as the blessing to anybody's path that crosses yours. Anybody get that conversation? Become the miracle to everyone else, and miracles will come to you without you looking for them. It's a very simple conversation. So once what kind of time frame am I looking at? I have no idea. I'm just on a roll having a great conversation. I usually train and do a coaching and talk to myself. That way I know you guys will catch something, but at least I know I never let myself down. So how much time? I got 5 minutes? I got 40 minutes left? 45. Excellent. Whew. Is this helping anybody? Let me know. Yes? Outstanding. Beautiful. So what I want to do is I want to help anybody in here who wants to be helped. I'm just going to this is the freebie. So what would you like to know that you would like to shift, that you would like to change in your life immediately? Like right now, like yesterday. Yes, dear. Stand up and tell them your name.
My name is Florence.
What is it?
Florence.
Florence. Tell them. I already know.
Oh, my name is Florence.
Hi, this is Florence. Everybody say, hi, Florence. See, when you own your own community and you actually can ask them, I want you guys to just imagine this. Florence, hold 1 second. I got you. Keep that thought in your head. Keep standing. Imagine if every person in this room committed to this community, just this room alone, to serve each one of the people here. You could go ahead, baby. I got you. I'm not going to call you out. I love you too much. Is everybody following me? Yes? Okay. I'm all about self-preservation. If you got to use the bathroom, make a phone call, you want to get up, walk around, stretch your feet. If you can't sit still, I have ADD, so I totally understand. You aren't going to offend me because you guys aren't paying me, so this is free. Y'all do whatever the hell you want to. Is everybody following me so far? But if in turn you committed to each other, you came to this room this morning with the attitude that I am here to contribute, that I came here to serve. I came here to bless someone else to get my blessings. You came with a committed time frame to truly be magical today. It's like you woke up, you said, you know what, today, God, I'm just going to be magical, and you're going to do all the work. You said, if I show up, you'll show out. If you woke up with that mentality as I did, it's not what can you do, what can't you do as a community. If only 5 people got that conversation and came here with a commitment to that kind of contribution, to being a contribution, not being a voyeur, not, well, you know, I'm normally quiet. Well, I'm kind of meek. Well, I don't talk that much. Well, I'm not sure. Well, I lack confidence. My husband beat me up. My wife beat me up. And some people's wives do beat them up. It doesn't have to be physical. It can be emotionally. It can be mental. Is everybody following me on that? Yes or yes? How many people understand this so far? But if you can let go, let God, and I don't care if you call him Allah, Yahweh, Jesus Christ, we can go down that lane if you want to. Bicentennial times, and we can go wherever you want to go, because that was my major. But anyway, whatever it is that you want to do, know that the Spirit carries. Is everybody with me? Yes? Excellent. Now,
So how do you change your mindset
how do you change your mindset?
when you're like at the bottom, depressed?
When you're at the very bottom and you're very depressed. Yes, thank you so much, darling. Say it again so they can hear you.
So how do you change your mindset when you're like at the bottom, depressed? How do you pick yourself up from there?
Great question. Say that I'm great. Don't give her back the mic. Come up here. Tell them I'm great.
I'm great.
No, they didn't believe you. Say it again.
I'm great.
Say it louder.
I'm great.
Keep saying it.
I'm great.
How great are you? See how they're clapping for you? Say it again. They'll probably clap louder if you say it louder and with conviction.
I'm great.
Say it with passion.
I am great.
Say, I am amazing.
I'm amazing.
Say, I am amazing.
I'm amazing.
I am unstoppable.
I'm unstoppable.
I'm filled with love.
I'm filled with love.
I care for nobody's opinions
I care for nobody's opinions
except for my own and my God.
except for my own and my God.
I am amazing. Say
I'm
it again. Keep
I'm-
going. They're going to keep clapping for you. Keep going.
I'm amazing.
Keep clapping for her. Say, I am great. Keep saying it. Don't stop.
I'm amazing.
Say, I'm great.
I'm great.
Say, I'm unstoppable.
I'm unstoppable.
I'm loving.
I'm loving.
I'm caring.
I'm caring.
I'm loving.
I'm loving.
I'm great.
I'm great.
I'm great.
I'm great.
Keep saying it.
I'm great.
I'm unstoppable.
I'm unstoppable.
I love each one of you
I love each one of you
because I love myself.
because I love myself.
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 I don't need anybody else's love.
I don't need anybody else's
I
love.
need your help.
I need your help.
I need you to support me.
I need you to support
Keep
me.
clapping for me
Keep clapping
because
for
I
me.
love you for it.
I love you guys for it.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I am great.
I am great.
I banish all negative thoughts.
I banish all negative thoughts.
I will never say that I'm depressed
I'll never say that I'm depressed
because nobody has that power.
because nobody has that power.
I will never give away my power.
I will never give
I will
away
never
power.
give away my power.
I will never
I will
give,
never give away my power.
I will never give away my power.
I am love.
I'm love.
I am great.
I'm great.
I am unstoppable.
I'm unstoppable.
Go give 3 people a hug. Give her a round, family, please. Anybody else want to ask when you change your mindset? Like yesterday. Stop having these self-talks with yourself. That conversation is a self-talk. That is a defeated mindset. That's a mindset that you created. That's a conversation you bought from someone else. It was never your conversation. You were born to be great. You were born to be amazing. You were born to be astonishing. You're a star in your own world. There will never, ever, 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 ever be another version of you built on this planet ever. There's only one of you. That's the only one you need approval from is you. You are only competing against yourself. Nobody else's approval is needed except for you. You learn to love you. You will never have to be loved by anybody else. The rest of the world will come and love you for you. Sir, you had a question or you had a request?
No, I'm just rejoicing.
No, I saw the gentleman right here. You had your hand up? Yes.
Byron.
Yes, sir. There's a microphone. We have a staring contest? You're beautiful, sir. What would you like to be? Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir. We're short on time, so I need you to speak to me. What's going on?
Well, they did. I wanted
Excellent.
to take a moment to be with you.
Excellent.
And you were talking so much, I had a challenge just being with you.
Mm.
I learned a long time ago that the presence of being with someone like yourself is magical. I can help you. Would you let me?
I let everyone help me, including you.
Can we talk afterwards?
We can talk afterwards, before, and during. I love your
Thank you
smile.
very much.
You're more than welcome.
Why is this so emotional for me?
Because you asked to be with me, and that's a very dangerous thing. In
So
a
that-
very benevolent way. Because I'm just filled with love.
And
No
I am
filters,
too.
no bullshit. I'm very transparent, and I love you. And I will allow you in, and I'll allow you to help me. You got it. Come here.
No, let me see you first.
You can see.
Let me see you.
You can see.
You got it. Huh? Okay, got it.
Never. I'm here for solutions. Yes, darling.
Okay, so I heard you say at the beginning that you have to do one thing and you have to stick to it, right? So I'm looking at like a third career change. So I did something for 7 years, I changed, I did something for 13 years, and now I feel like I'm on the cusp of going into something else. But that made me nervous, what you said, because I feel like
So
I'm
let me give
constantly
clarity.
evolving and changing.
Totally there with you. Let me give you clarity.
Okay, please do.
The one thing that you need to master, that you need to stay on, the number one vocation is you. The actual career, you can switch 1,000 times. But until you master you, then the value will never be created. The equity within you will never be created. Once you create the greatest version of you, it doesn't matter what you do. Then you can do what you love to do. Branding and licensing of a soul allows a person to put their name on anything they want at a level of excellence and get paid on it because they've mastered themselves. So the interpretation of me saying you have to master one vocation, real estate, training, selling oils, whatever. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you.
Okay, thank
Did
you
that
for
help?
clarification. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it helps a lot.
And the only once there's step. I don't have the space and time to do the training on this. There's stair steps to this. The first step is you. The second step is who you follow. She's one of the most extraordinary coaches on the planet. So is Audrey. We have some amazing coaches in this room. Like a lot of people think that, well, it's like, are you in competition? And there's all these coaches in this. Here's what I understand. I have no competition except for what's in the mirror. If I resonate with your soul, just like I did with this man right here, they're going to resonate. They're going to connect. A whole nother currency of energy will take over. You'll feel a personal shift. It's not made up. It's not mass. This wasn't staged. I don't know this man. I just met him. Where other people are still in their head having a conversation about, I could never do that. That's why you'll never elevate. Because you can't do that. And you live in a word called can't. I have 5 words that you can never say. Can't, I, if, but, and try. I should only be used if I'm helping someone else. Otherwise, it's ego-driven. Try is to lie. If, what if it works? Can't, well, I just like that word. And but, that's a premeditated lie. That means you thought about it before you came and talked to me. Be very careful of the language. That's what we're doing here. The self-talk, the conversation that you keep having with yourself, that was just one layer of an onion. I got to go in on her layer after layer after layer. I got to get to the core of it, extract it, plant a new seed, grow a flower bud. Because somebody has programmed into her over and over for that to be there. For her to verbalize that, she has gone through more than one door of hearing it over and over. It could have been the same person, it could have been a different person, but at some point she believed the lie. And everything you tell you, this is really going to another level. Are you following me on this? Because I'm killing 3 birds with 1 stone.
Thank you.
When the lie becomes a truth, you have to learn how to create the lie that becomes your truth. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a doctor. As a child, I'm going to be a doctor. Then all of a sudden, it's like you make it to your freshman. What are you doing? You're doing pre-med. But all of a sudden, they ask you, so what do you do? I'm a doctor. 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 Right? Exactly. Affirmations over and over. You are nothing more or less than what you told yourself you would be over and over and over and over again. But somebody planted the seed. That's why I said you got to protect the garden. That garden, it's yours. But if you let the crows in, my goodness.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Excellent. Give her a round, please. Pass the mic over, please, to her, Dawn. I'm down to 15 minutes. I'm on time. Stick with me. I got it. You don't have to show me the card.
I'm Judith.
Hi,
My
Judith.
question is, my job is help people to how to find themselves. But you know, some friends.
I'm sorry. Start over. I want to be
Okay.
present to the conversation. Go ahead.
My job is help people how to find themselves.
Uh-huh.
So, but my friend told me they want be me, and but they want to change. But they said, how can I change? I told them my experience, but they say, wow, it's not my, some people want change, but they don't really want change inside.
Oh, we're very clear about this. Right?
So, yeah, this question is,
So you want to know the solution to that? I said it earlier, let my people go. Well, how do you do that? Why that? Well, how do I find that? Back to the vortex of value.
Yeah, okay.
It's easier to run with 3 than to drag 1,000. I can't help someone get in shape that doesn't want to work out.
Yeah, you cannot have, right?
And I can't help someone get wealthy that doesn't want to be wealthy. So here's what's a crazy story. I want to show you this I want to show you this whole axis of how life works. This gets into a whole other realm of thinking, which I can't go really into. So you have an axis here, right? And in that axis, you've played the piano. You've played at Juilliard. You studied at Juilliard. You played in the open field around the world. You're one of the top piano players in the world. On a scale of 1 to 10, you're one of the best in the world. You're probably at about an 8. 8 is amazing.
Yeah.
By the way.
High level, yeah.
Okay. Beethoven comes back from the dead, and he says, "I want to train you. I want to work with you directly. I want to take your game to the next level." You've already toppled everything on the planet. You already know everything it takes to be able to become extraordinary. But you're an 8. You would like to get to that 9, 10, which becomes historic. Beethoven comes back and trains you. Out of a scale of 1 to 100, what are the odds of you going to a 9 and a 10? What are the odds? I'll say it again, slowly. Does everybody understand my conversation here? And anybody can answer with a raise of hand. You're on a scale in which you're already playing at an 8. You're on a world-renowned scale of playing an 8. You're one of the best players in the world. You studied at Juilliard. You played in London. You played around the world. Beethoven comes from the dead and says, "I want to train you personally and take your game to the next level." On a scale to 1 to 100, or we could say a scale 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, what are the odds of you actually succeeding and going up? Yes, ma'am. 10 possibly. 100%. 100%. Guaranteed failure. The answer is guaranteed failure. Why? Because you already have attained a certain level of success nobody else has ever attained, but there's another axis. And it's the same reason everybody in this room has not gone to the level that they want to go to. There's not much that I, her, or many of the coaches in here could tell you that you don't know. There's not much that we could tell you that you don't know. Remember, I said the reason you employ a coach is not to know what you don't know, but to hold you accountable to learn what you don't know. So that other axis is what kills dreams, aspirations, and heights of greatness. And that is the resistance to change. So what you're talking about is an individual who doesn't want to change. It's the same as everybody in here. Why you won't actually employ a coach or hire or pay or do whatever you need to do is because you don't want to change. The way your weight is, the way it is, and your weight, the reason you don't take care of your skin, the reason you don't do yoga, the reason you don't work out, it's not because you don't know how to work out. It's not that you don't know how to take time to read. It's not that you don't know how to take time to meditate. It's not that you don't know how to take time to learn a new language. Everybody in here can learn Russian. Everybody in here can learn, Farsi. Everybody in here can learn Spanish. Everybody in here knows that you have the capacity. Do you understand that you were given the gift of, the mind is a machine. There's not a computer created today that your mind can't dwarf in potential. It is ridiculous if I took the time to break down the power of your mind. It's ridiculous. 65% of the multimillionaires in North America are from another country because they came here understanding opportunity. They came here thirsty. My greatest stories of the people that I've helped succeed are from another country. I have a kid right now that in less than 6 years got to over $300,000 a month. I have people I've known for over a year that are still broke. Go figure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very much. Did that help everybody? Yes or yes? Definitely. Got you. I'm going to come to you in 1 second. Well, you're right there now, so let's deal with him. And then we'll go, and then I'll keep moving. I'll come up.
I have a legitimate excuse not to succeed. I have Parkinson's. Mm-hmm. And the story goes, for me, the bumblebee is it's got a big body, and the wings are too small. Scientists say you're not supposed to fly, but they forgot to tell the bumblebee. Flies anyway. So basically, you have two angels in the back of your head. You have a negative angel, positive angel. Mm-hmm. Your power is which one you pull.
Exactly.
That's the power to
Thank
choose.
you. Yes, give him a big round, definitely. If you didn't understand what he said, he's saying that you have two angels that you actually, and I know the story very well. When you wake up in the morning, you have two angels on your shoulder. One is the positive, benevolent one. The other one is the negative, malevolent one that takes away your power. They're like the foreman that works on a actual, if you understand the power of a foreman, they run everything in development of construction. And when you wake up, you hire one of them every morning. He's saying, I have Parkinson's disease, and what I have to deal with every day when other people are making excuses, and he's sitting here, he's giving you and letting you know that's the power of choice, that the luxury that you have of having a choice, of being healthy, is taken for granted when he has to go through what he has to go through every single morning and day. And the way people look at him and the way people see him and the way people perceive him almost brings me to tears to understand what one person has to go through and how much so many humans take every second of their life for granted. Please give him a round of applause. You gotta say this. Oh, I'm sorry. I got one. I got you. I got the mic. I got you. I got you. I got Randy. I got you. I got you. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, Byron. My name is Claudette.
Hi, Claudette.
I feel the presence of the Lord in this place because when you speak, it's faith-based. Mm-hmm. And what I learned today, because I saw a coach, that change starts from within and how we believe in ourselves and what we say. But faith without works is dead.
Always.
That's the shift I need. How do we make that work? Is it making calls, going out there networking? How do we start the work once we realize that that mindset has changed? How do we start? You're already successful, but I didn't stand up. I didn't have the vision board. What's the beginning to make the work?
The beginning to everything, the alpha to everything, goes back to words, goes back to a word called to decide. That's what she was saying. How do you make that shift right then when it's a decision. I wanted her to, I wanted to break that shift right now of her conversation right now. I'm not finished with that conversation. Same thing with yourself. It's a decision. DE comes from the Latin derivative there, which it came from. Psi goes along with suicide, genocide, patricide, homicide. It means to kill off every other option. When you decided to show up here today, you showed up. When you decide to leave, you will leave. When a decision is made, a powerful decision is made, and action follows. Everything else is involvement and rhetoric. Most people think they made a decision. They made a decision to get a membership to a gym. They made a decision to get involved with a network company. They made a decision to do this. They made a decision to get into a relationship. But the reality of it is they made a decision to get involved. They didn't make a decision to make it work. That's why you get a coach. When I decide to work with someone, game is over. But I have to know that that person is even worthy of me even going to that level with them. Because that's a vibration.
Decision will force that action.
Once you decide, you need to think is to put it in ink. If you do not have a journal that you keep every day, if you do not keep that, to write it down is to truly, that's a whole nother map. So you have a coach that's going to outline, they're going to plan with the end in mind, they're going to establish your dream. After the dream, they're going to establish the goals. After they establish the goals, they're going to establish the roadmap. After they establish the roadmap, they're going to plan with the end in mind. And the end in mind, you're going to plug it into the GPS. And then they're going to walk with you down that road and make sure that you don't go and get distracted by distractions and go talk to your sister. And, well, I got to go and do this. Well, I want to make the meeting, but, well, I'm 10 minutes late, but can I do it next week? Well, you don't know what's going on in my life. I don't care. That's how you're going to walk that path.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, dear. One more question. We're going to wrap up for this part of the session. Unless somebody has something really urgent they need shifted in their life. Go ahead, darling.
My name is Inga. Hi. I want to ask you, how do you break your fears?
Whew. We don't have 2 hours for this. How about I cover that tonight for you? How about I cover that tonight for you? I will give you, fear stands for, because you know some people, we're going to do a session this evening at 7:30. Some people are going to be too busy being broke and say, I can't come back. Why? Because they didn't pay for it. My job is to create value. Those that see value will be back. Oh, I have one more question. Yes? Hold on 1 second, darling. I want to answer this real quick. I got you. I want you to write down fear, though, so that you understand it. And if somebody else has a pen and paper, so you remember it. There's 2 definitions to fear. The first one is false education appearing real. The second one is false evidence appearing real. I know. Makes the brain think, doesn't it? The evidence, false evidence appearing real, is what lies you bought. Whatever lies you bought, that's what you're scared of. Right? So that's the evidence. The education is someone else's lies that you bought. Right? Because if you buy the education of an individual that is successful, if you want to know how to do real estate, if you listen to Robert Kiyosaki, if you wanted to know how to do, there's a myriad of different things, right? Find someone who has done what you want to do what they do, cut your learning. There's only 2 ways to learn. You learn based on your mistakes or the mistakes of others. I suggest you learn from the mistakes of others. It will cut your learning curve down. Right? Everybody wants to tell me, it's like I was listening as I was back to Jack Ma, and many of the people, even Richard Branson, somebody said delegation over here is one of the things when I was looking for, truly. And that's probably one of the greatest takeaways I've taken in the last 5 years from people that are on the other side of massive historical success, is they've learned how to leverage and delegate and decide properly. Yes, it was you, darling. So, if you go in, and I haven't forgot her, so what you got to understand is people have a whole thing about recruiting, right? So it's like, I was talking to Randy earlier about different mediums of the conversation here today, and people ask, well, I think Byron does this. You have no freaking idea what I do and who I am until you meet me. It's just amazing how many people have an interpretation about who I am and what I do. You can't do that. You want to know the source, go meet the source. You have no idea. I've owned entertainment firms. I've had real estate divisions. I have a network marketing company. I got a whole lot of things. And if you think that you know what I do before knowing me, that's the biggest mistake people can ever make. It's the biggest mistake a person can make. People look me up or look up something on Google or look something up on Facebook. Do you understand that if you had to write a thesis in college, especially if you went to Harvard, that you can't use Google as a resource? That it's the biggest bathroom wall on the planet? If you want to know the truth, go meet the person, go find the person, go see the person. I so dislike and love the internet at the same time. That's a whole nother conversation I'll tap into. But it's amazing because I have one of the top dermatologists in the world that's on my team that I train and that I developed. And she has literally in excess of probably about 80,000 clients and some of the most high profile, including Magic Johnson, a host of people. And 3 people, because she was not internet savvy, that she didn't have people actually go online and do a review on her. What's it called? Yelp, right? And because she didn't do that, she had 3 clients that she coached, that she actually did a consultation for. She did a consultation for, and one of them, they wanted her to do a procedure to be able to give her Botox, this, that, and the other, regardless of it was against her health. Got it? Is everybody following me? Yes or yes? It was going to jeopardize her health. And because the doc would not do this procedure, she went on Yelp and gave her a bad review. And literally in less than a 6-month period of time, lost 40% of her client base because somebody went online. And she had to go through a whole process with an attorney to get this taken off because nobody made her mention of the other 78,000 plus people that were completely happy. It's amazing how perception and interpretation and one person's negative outlook without responsibility for actions can hurt someone else. But I also believe in karma. So just understand or overstand what you're looking for. Be very clear when you're looking at someone, when you're looking for something, for someone. Go and talk to the person. You have many coaches that are up here. You got so many people here. You have a community here. Maximize the equity within this community. Don't leave here without knowing at least 5 people. I mean, this is like a first grade class for me. But by the time, if you came this evening, I mean, truly, whatever, you take the time, whatever you want. My job is to serve you. Like I said, I'm here as on love. So, I mean, somebody says, I'm going to give you, $20,000 worth of information. I'm kind of coming back. That's just me. Most people are going to be busy. I got it. You guys with me? Yes? Yes. You had a question, darling. Yes. As we wrap up. Mm-hmm.
I just wanted your advice on how to maintain my own peace in a toxic situation.
Leave. I'm sorry.
Not possible. I can't leave my children.
I mean, as a coach, I know it's easier said than done, but I'll be honest with you. Without even knowing the circumstances, you probably get the best advice from an objective perspective as someone who does not know the circumstances. Either you leave or they have to leave. Because toxic is toxic. Now the question is how to do it. But again, it's going to start with I got it. Okay. Randy, don't show me another card. I'm with you. Is everybody with me? Yes? I'm on schedule with you. I respect that. Yes, darling? So understand that first the decision must be made. Okay? Then you just need somebody to coach you through and how to. Who in here is a relationship coach? Show of hands. Who? So I got one. Raise your hand if you're a relationship coach. You got one right there. You got one right here. You got one over there. You got one over there. You got at least 4 relationships. You got one in the back there. You got at least 5 relationship coaches in here. You got experience. She definitely got experience. You got at least 6, 7 coaches in here. Pull them to the side. Stand up again if you're a relationship coach, just so she can see you. If you have experience in relationships. Take a visual picture. Okay? Find them at the end. Okay? One over there, by the way. So when you look for it, it'll show up. Does that make sense? Excellent. All right. I am good. Did this help anybody? Yeah. Never leave without getting what you came for. Never leave here or any place without, if there's value created, I can promise you this day, I'm just starting. And I know the people that are actually associating with me throughout this day. I don't know. I would cancel the day when I got the blessing of being able to, anybody know who Quincy Jones is? I'm going to tell you 2 quick stories. Come on up here, baby. Come on. Okay. Tell you 2 quick stories. One was I had the opportunity of being able to meet Quincy Jones. Not just meet him. Yeah, it's worth laughing for. But not just meet him, but now he is one of my colleagues. There's a young lady that is an artist by the name of Tamia. I took Tamia at the age of 18, and she became a world-renowned artist, and took her to meet Quincy Jones. When I first got the chance to meet Quincy Jones, I was only scheduled to go in for a 15-minute meeting. And he said, I'm going to allow you to stay with me all day. And it's ironic based on something that I was studying today before I came in here this morning. When he gave me the opportunity, I had a very booked day and thought I was only going to get a 15-minute audience with him. And he gave me the opportunity to stay with him all day in the studio. I did. And I stayed with him. Because of him, I was able to actually meet Stevie Wonder. I took him out for his birthday 2 years ago, just me and 3 people. And literally there was 4 people in the restaurant, maybe 10 at the time. By the time he finished on his birthday, with just 4 of us sitting at the table, there was over 200 people listening to him perform for his birthday. The magic of miracles of relationships I've been able to develop through the history of what I've been able to do has just opened up door after door. So I know many of you are busy today. I don't know. I would kind of cancel whatever you have on the day and make arrangements. If you got to leave and take care of kids and come back, today is going to be something special. I don't know what it is, and I'm not selling you on it because I don't care who you take as a coach. I'm not here to sell you my package. She is, because, if you see value, you get my package. If you don't, you don't. I'm not here to sell anything because I bring so much to the table that I don't need to sell my package. It sells itself. Does that make sense? But I'm going to share with you that I am here to create miracles for the people that are looking for miracles. If you're looking for a shift, this could be, if you expect it, if you're looking for it, and you want this to be the most magical day of your life, it will be, because it's going to be mine. I know exactly why I'm here. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I know exactly what my agenda is, and it's very transparent, and I'm looking for just a certain individual, type of individual that wants to shift their entire life and mine at the same time. I'm looking for 2 tectonic plates that create earthquakes. That's what I'm looking for. The second story I'm going to tell you is the story of Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett invited Bill Gates. This is when he was CEO of Microsoft. Bill Gates was invited to Warren Buffett's house. And he was sitting there and he said, we're both billionaires. We've been at the top 3 billionaires in the world for our entire life. Why? And this is when those emails were circulating that if he reached down to pick up $1, it would cost him like $20,000 million. Anybody remember those emails? Do you guys remember that? Okay, so it was back then. It was a long time ago. It was before he retired. So he went to this meeting with Bill Gates. Bill Gates went to the meeting with Warren Buffett. He's like, he's twice my age. He doesn't use technology. He barely has a computer in the house. He still drives the same pickup he has for the past 40 years. He doesn't even use a pager or a cell phone at that time. Are y'all following me on that so far? And he was like, why would I go and have a meeting with somebody when my whole world is about technology and his has nothing to do with technology? He went there, and I don't know if you guys remember, he had a whole lot of anti-lawsuits. He was monopolizing on being able to control Microsoft and control the industry. He was literally on the verge of a stroke. He went there for a 2-hour meeting. He stayed there for 3 days. Right after that, he retired from CEO. He became the overseer and managing partner over Microsoft. He went into philanthropy. He had never given up dollars for nonprofits in his life. He started giving money to Stanford and to UC Berkeley and all the colleges that were in Northern California. And he was paying children at 18 and 19 and 20 how to create new programs for the 21st century while working. That was their interns. He was paying for their whole schooling and everything. That started after he sat down with Warren Buffett. Within a year's time of him walking away from his position, he made 5 times more money than he did before he sat down with Warren Buffett when he learned how to give it away and it came back tenfold. True story. So I don't know what's on your schedule for today. I don't know why you're here. I don't know what resonates with your soul. But I can tell you, we're going to create something that has never been done. And I'm telling you that for the handful of people that get this conversation. And I'm going to turn it over to Randy. And I love each and every one of you. And I thank you for this afternoon and morning. I need a mic. You need a mic? You want the mic? You have a mic?
Thank you.
You have a mic?
No, I have one.
Okay.
Don't go. Don't go. Byron. Byron. Chase me in.
Black man walking away. It's only because it was a white woman. Don't worry about it. We have this going on all the time. She's really black. Go ahead, baby.
I just washed it off a little. So, tell me, first of all, is he not incredible or what? Woo! Woo! Byron, you have a one-day event coming on October 7th.
I do.
Can you tell everybody a little bit about that?
Yes, so my one-day event is going to be on October 7th. So everyone that wants to be a part of that, I don't like to just come and get people inspired. I like to be able to do a follow-up with the people who do want coaching. And I really do not, it actually costs me to do the coaching because it takes a day away from just what I'm doing. I'm living so much on purpose right now. How many people know how many minutes is in a day? Very few people. No hand goes up. 1,440 minutes. How many seconds is in a day? 86,400 seconds. You know why most people don't live their life to the fullest? Because they don't understand the value of the life they've been given. They don't understand the most valuable commodity in life is time. So when I can, and you can, for the last note, understand what that 7th, October 7th is about, write down that for the rest of your life, if you take nothing else, take on my mantra from 2005. I'm either investing or I'm spending. Write that down. In every relationship, you're either investing or you're spending. With every person you sit down with, you're either investing or you're spending. It'll allow you to prune the tree to invest your time wisely, because your children, if you have children, your children know when you're just spending time with them but you aren't really present versus you actually investing time. There's a major change there. There's a shift there. You think that well, I'm here with my children. You're on the phone, you're on the tablet, you're doing this, you're multitasking, but you aren't really there with them. And they can feel that. So the 7th is about taking your life and truly transforming it and creating a reverse action in your life. So whatever energy, whatever flow, that vortex, that 24, and I mean, if you've been in one of my courses before, stand up. I just want you to stand up real quick. If you've been in one of my courses over the last, year, because I've done this 3 or 4 times, there's a few people. Did Carolyn leave also?
She's a coach.
Oh, she's in coach. Oh, yeah. All of them are coaching. I coach coaches. That just kind of goes with the program. Gordon, did you want to share on it?
I've been in your course for 20 plus
Yes,
years.
you have. You want to share exactly what happened in the last one? And Jackie's raising her hand as well.
Yeah, I mean, just transformation. If you want everything you're stuck with, you want to break through, and you want to 10 times your, not just your life, but more love, joy, purpose in life,
I call it ignite. If you want to ignite your life, I like taking something from really a pilot and taking it to broil. If you don't want a radical shift, you shouldn't come to my class. Because in that program, you give me permission to be me and coach you. And there, I'm not being nice. I'm not there to be liked. I'm there to be loved. Because if you get the results you want in your life after you actually get coached, you'll love me for the rest of your life. It's that simple. Too many people are looking for somebody they like or somebody who's going to just, I don't buy excuses. You either make excuses or money, or you're truly elevating. And money is in direct proportion to abundance. I need you to have the most abundant life you've ever had in your life. I only want to surround myself with people who are constantly in abundance. I cannot tell you, when you have people that are bringing you gifts of who they are, that serve you at the highest level, you will never need for anything in your life ever again in your life. Let me say that again. You will never need. See, there's a reason why OJ actually went to jail, and there's a reason why Martha Stewart came out making 10 times more money than she did when she went in. Besides stupidity. See, in life, what you have is a credit card. And that credit card, from the time you're born, you actually have a $500 credit. If you live it with integrity, with transparency, with intention, with purpose, it goes to 1,000. Then it goes to 2,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000. If you keep depleting that card, you're constantly looking for someone to be able to give you money, and you're living off the vine, broke all your life. Let me give you a prime example. Is anybody following this? Yes or yes? See, you got to be able to develop credibility in your life to be able to elevate yourself to a place and a space that you never need. You got to learn how to make the universe work for you versus you work for the universe. See, when you don't have a man, since we're talking to mostly women in here, when you don't have a man, you can't find a man to save your life. How many people understand what I'm talking about? I mean, for anything. When you get a man, how many people know they all show up like, where were you last month? Anybody understand that conversation? Right? The money works the same way. When you don't have any money, you can't get credit to save your life. When you come into money, they're throwing credit cards at you. So you got to learn how to reverse the energy and trick the universe into working for you, and you need a coach to show you how to do that. That's when life becomes magical. And the blessings always come in the least expected places and people. But if you live in that law of expectation without trying to, well, it's supposed to look like this, or my life is supposed to look like this, or I'm supposed to be doing this. Well, doesn't resonate with, well, this isn't my career. This is not what I'm interested in. If you can throw out all that carnage and let somebody strip that down like plaque on your teeth and get it off of you, then you can be a receiving magnet. See, most of you are giving magnets. Remember we talked about the women? You're giving magnets. You haven't learned how to receive. How many people understand that conversation? You don't know how to receive. You know how to give. You know how to give, give, and give. And then when they take too much and you need and nobody's there, then you get bitter. You become that egg. That's all what the seventh is about. It's about completely becoming not just the most powerful asset to the human race you could ever be. The greatest version you have ever seen. In a no-nonsense manner. I'm the millionaire's mentor. I don't normally mentor people on a lay position. I usually mentor people that are already elevated because I love going to a whole nother level that I don't want to talk over people's heads. But for this young lady, and for Gordon, and for you guys, that one day is an introductory course that you will never be the same if you spend a day with me. It's impossible. I'm not the same when I spend a day with me. I know, shut up. Oh.
And he's also never given it
I
this
have not.
cheap before.
Ever.
Like,
Ever.
it's only $97 for the day. It's a full
Exactly.
day event. He has never done this.
Ever.
Never.
I love you too.
Never.
$97 and I never, ever, ever, ever,
No, never.
ever. So you got to understand, I pride myself on living at a level that is so high that if I'm not in a suit and I'm not actually talking like this, that I actually hang out with my son and they think we're brothers. My youth of the millennials, that's why I have a millennial movement. I also have a women's movement, a women empowerment. And I also have a Black Wall Street movement because I happen to be black. But all the people that are surround me, people I was interviewed about a month ago, they said, so why do you have these different movements? I said, I do the women's empowerment because I love women. I'm a man. It just makes sense. I love the millennial movement because I want to change. It says from a biblical perspective, in the next generation out of the mouth of babes. And when you look at it from all these different perspectives of raising, if I do not elevate myself or put myself in this space, people have no idea I'm well over 50 years old. I am the Black Benjamin Buttons. I get younger every single day. I'll tell you exactly how to do an avocado mask. Real men do masks. I did one this morning. Real men get their hands done and get nails, and I will change a man's. I have a men's whole training on why you don't get into bed and have your feet feel like sandpaper. I have a whole training on exactly why a woman will look at your shoes first, look at your smile, and look at your fingers at the same time. There's a whole training on how to train women to raise up. Yes, this is a whole elevation. That program on that 7th is called Ascend. It's called Ascend. On the 7th of October. I have no idea. Talk to Randy.
It's at Spring Hill.
Spring Hill.
It's at Spring Hill, which is literally 2 minutes away.
2 minutes from here.
Yeah, just closer to Weston.
You
Right
sign
at the
up at the
back
back,
of the
but it's
room?
after today, it's going to be $250. So if you do not sign up today, it goes up to $250. If you don't sign up in a week, it goes to $500.
Oh, I'd get the 97 right now.
It's real simple because I don't do 96. They're like, let me go right now. So, yeah, so it's a one-time offer. It's a one-day offer. It's literally, and I'm going to tell you what my main goal to close this out. Yes, Gordon, you want to say something, baby?
There's a limit to 97 according to gross.
Okay. So the one thing I'll tell you is, I'm going to tell you my purpose. Is everybody with me? Say aye if you're with me. Aye?
Aye.
So we can wrap up and go eat. Everybody with me? Say aye real loud.
Aye.
I have 2 requests for you. Number 1, I want you to meet 5 people in here you have not met before. Not right now. In about 30 seconds. I want you to meet 5 people in here you have not met before and make them remember you for the rest of your life.
Whoa.
Before you walk out of here today.
Challenge.
That's number 1. And the second thing I'm going to share with you of the purpose of October 7th and the significance of it is I want whatever you did in 10 months of 2017, my goal is to give you the tools to do 10 times that in the last 2-3 months of this year, that you go into 2018 with a new resolution other than I want to make money and get in shape. I want the last 3 months of your life in 2017 to change everything about Groundhog's Day, that 2018, you are so looking forward to it because, and you're so busy transforming yourself in 2000. So many people are like, well, it's already Thanksgiving. It's already Halloween. It's already Christmas. Let me tell you something. I want you guys to get this. This is what the 7th is about. Understand how winners win and how they think. Do you understand that the employer mentality makes 100-fold more money during October, November, and December than they did in the previous 9 months? Yes. That just in October, from October 15th through December 31st, those are the only 2.5 months they live for. That's it. That's why everybody else is, the employee mentality, oh, it's holidays. The employer mentality, oh, the consumers are coming to spend. See, if you get the skill set of how to activate these last 2.5 months of your life, you'll have more success and production you've ever had in your entire life than you did in the last year. That's what October 7th is about. That's all you get. I'm done. That's all
Thank you, beautiful. Can we give a huge hand to Byron again? And
we're done. This evening starts at...
I'm wearing my hair in your...
I know. What time's this evening?
Byron is back on stage at 7:30 tonight. If you enjoyed this last couple hours with Byron, please, do you think that some of your friends or associates would enjoy him this evening?
Hey, it's free. I bring 5, 10 women here. If you got a squad, I bring 10 more. Guess what? You want to test yourself? Disrupt somebody's life and say, cancel whatever you're doing tonight and show up. Don't ask, tell. Many of you women, you keep asking and they keep telling you no. Stop asking people and tell people what to do. Guess what? You'll be amazed how much the world will bow down to you. God bless. Have an amazing lunch.